Welcome back. The beloved boundary waters of northern Minnesota. They're revered for their beauty, but also for what we don't see. Deep underground are some of the richest untapped mineral deposits in the world. It's one of the reasons there are efforts underway right now by the Trump administration to reverse a Biden-era ban on mining near the boundary waters. This week, we're embarking on a series of stories to mine for the truth on how that could impact our state. In Ely, some are singing an old song. It's called Not in Our Backyard.
Do we take that chance here? Is that okay? This is the fight of our lifetime.
But when that backyard contains one of the largest known deposits of copper, nickel, and cobalt in the world, others are playing a different tune.
This is the right mine for this region.
As the political winds shift, the possibility of hard rock mining near the boundary waters is back on the menu. 2 years ago, the Biden administration banned mining 250,000 acres outside the boundary waters. The Forest Service at the time said mining here would inevitably pollute the boundary waters. Mining experts disagree.
We're opening up mines in Minnesota.
And the Trump administration has vowed to reverse the ban and get America back underground. What are the odds that this is going to happen?
Highly likely.
And what's the time frame on it?
Soon.
Congressman Pete Stauber has introduced multiple times a bill to overturn the mining ban. There's no debate. The world needs these minerals to supply a modern economy. Anything with a wire, anything with a computer, anything with a battery is made with these metals. Currently, the U.S. relies on foreign sources for nearly half of the copper and more than half of the nickel and cobalt used in the country.
We have to use the facts and the science when we go forward and remove the political science.
Around summer, Ely is bustling.
Go Twin Cities!
But as mines closed over the decades, Ely's population dwindled, nearly half what it was in 1950.
There's a lot of seasonal jobs. It's hard for families to, exist on.
Dean DeBeltz, a fourth-generation Ely resident, is helping to lead Twin Metals Minnesota's quest for a new mine.
I realized I had an opportunity to help shape something that we need. I believe we desperately need in this town.
Inside Twin Metals headquarters, we see what this fight is all about.
What we have here is core that's cut, laid out on the table, and where it looks like gold, those are the sulfides.
Sulfide forms when sulfur atoms chemically bind to metal atoms, in this case, mostly copper and nickel.
So this one is 3,198 feet below surface.
And that is what Twin Metals is after.
We take the sulfides out, they go with the concentrates.
But the treasure is also the trouble. When sulfides are dug up and exposed to oxygen and water, they can turn into sulfuric acid. Any leak over time can be catastrophic to a clean environment. It is known as acid mine or acid rock drainage, something the Environmental Protection Agency estimates has polluted 40% of the country's rivers and 50% of the nation's lakes. Is there a way to pull those minerals out without damaging the waterway?
Definitely, and we have to prove that through a thorough environmental review.
How would they do it? And just how close would a mine be to the boundary waters? Let's go to the map. Twin Metals' mine proposal from 2019 targets what's called the Machuri deposit here, located between Ely and Babbitt, 5 miles from the southwest edge of the Boundary Waters Wilderness Area. The project site right next to Birch Lake and the South Cowichan River, which flows into the Boundary Waters. The site plan shows this is where they will dig underground, unlike open pit iron mines. Trucks would enter the mine through 2 tunnels, digging out different zones called stopes, which are like the hallways and rooms of an underground hotel. They will blast and recover ore between 400 and 4,500 feet underground. Twin Metals says that ore will be crushed below the surface to avoid dust and noise pollution, with a conveyor feeding that ore into a covered plant on the surface, where it is further processed and separated. The metal concentrates are stored for shipment. Half of the leftover rock goes back to fill in the holes. The other half will be dehydrated and stacked here on the surface. What is the potential for acid rock drainage at the site?
In the studies that we've done and the studies that the DNR has done on Duluth complex material, it's virtually zero. I mean, It doesn't exist.
What does exist is the need for work and a small fortune of benefits for the state.
This is essentially a library of our mineral deposit.
Kathy Grawl, also with Twin Metals, Minnesota, says the mine would employ 750 people with 1,500 spin-off jobs in the area. Hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes, plus royalties to the state school trust fund.
It's estimated that the mineral resources that are in this region could add to that fund by $3 billion.
They hope the public will view the mine with an open mind.
And we've got to be more open to conversation and talking about what it actually is rather than stigmatizing someone and saying, no, it's bad. No matter what you do, it's going to be bad, because that's not what we're about.
Now, if you want to see the environmentalist take on mining near the boundary waters, you can watch that right now on KARE11.com. Also tonight on KARE 11 News at 10, our third episode in this series where we'll take you 3,000 feet underground to the only nickel mine in the country. It's in the UP. We'll look forward to that tonight at 10 o'clock on KARE 11 News and the Extra. Stick with us, more news and weather coming up after the break.